Why the hell are there so many bootlickers here? Like someone makes a post about how shitty a work environment and a bunch of folks reply abridged. Stop complaining, bro. That's just how life is. You made a grammar mistake. Or they make some logical fallacy based on a disingenuous interpretation of the original post. Are all these troll folks like finance bro ass kissers or something? You know that your bank will fire you after wringing you dry. Just give it 2 years or something. The banks take turns so they can routinely oversaturate the market and seed desperation. It has become pretty evident that any thread, not just this subreddit or Reddit as a whole, but any thread anywhere where people start to come together to look for something better in any subject will be very soon invaded by the anti-whatever it is squad. It's pretty incredible how quick and overwhelming it is. It's because they've been led to believe for decades that every company runs on a very tight budget. And at any moment, they could go out of business from one stupid decision, when in actuality now companies are just raking in profits and they're squeezing the hell out of you to make them. It's an old mindset that really needs to change. The number of anti-union, scab mentality people here is simply incredible to me. Brigading bullshit. People who think that anti-work means antisocial. And, well, you know how us monkeys get when another monkey isn't cooperating. It's like an entitled holier-than-thou kind of thing. The anger is genuine and they're seeing red. But they don't even know what they're looking at. Fucking insane how gaslit we are in this culture. Wall Street wants to protect its decades of obscene wealth generated via wage theft and have employed an army to engage directly and also spread misinformation. Why are there so many incels in women's rights subs? Why are there so many Christians in the atheist subs? Why are there so many pro-Russia shills in the Ukraine subs? It's a point of attack. Which is why I don't post on here. I keep to myself, and if shit starts burning around me then I join the fun, but until then I sit and watch and wait. Ever since the incident, you'll get losers here who look to argue. Even worse, there's people subbed here just to argue. People who have no better retorts than to point out a grammar mistake are losers. Because they have fully bought into the idea that work is something you need to toil at and a major part of their own identity is their job. These are the people who burn out after years of grinding away at paying for their employers' summer house. These are the same people who always ask, "What do you do?" 5 seconds into a first meeting. The very same people who disintegrate if they ever lose their jobs. The job is a pillar of their personality. Without it, their ego deflates to nothing and they crumble. Because they see themselves as temporarily embarrassed millionaires. Sunk cost fallacy. It's hard to back out of the mindset when they have spent so much time convincing themselves this is just how things are. Hey, at least some posts get traction. Every time I try to post about a genuine path to escaping the capitalist hellscape, I get zero engagement. United people stand against oppression. They want to hamper the unity. Getting deprogrammed can be difficult. Never underestimate the reach of astroturfing on Reddit. There are plenty of organizations that will pay people to make comments in support of their particular agenda. Trolls that big corporations hired to divide the working class. They're simply people who honestly believe that having an opposing viewpoint somehow makes you special. Bootlickers are everywhere and part of society. What makes you think you would avoid them here? In a public forum? Unfortunately, not everyone will praise you all the time. Organize, unionize, strike, and let them know who's boss. They're just boomers and other conservatives. Like the UAW guy on the picket line wearing the Trump hat. I think it's like the cilantro soap gene. There are just some folk who enjoy the taste of boot leather. I will have you know I am just temporarily not a billionaire. AntiWork made the news a while back. Wouldn't be surprised if there's actual corporate shills here. Because this forum is continuing to grow and attract mainstream attention. When such a thing happens, it naturally attracts a few pests. I know I'll get knee-jerk responses. And you'll say I'm in the wrong sub for this. But they could very well be corporate government trolls. The sub is growing, and that's an understatement. We are all collectively fed up with declining quality of life. Since our entire system is based on commerce. They want to quell this growing sentiment with digital union busters known as trolls. That are showing how apparent the conditioning is. You made a grammar mistake, the true heroes. There's a TikToker that's really opened my eyes to the abuse employers give, and we just took it. I don't usually comment because I'm pissed at the treatment I got and trying to steer clear of the mentality that I had rough, so you should too. I love that things are changing, and I begged for changes when I first started working. So I'm fighting an inner monologue of Gen Z is whiny and Gen Z should fight for their rights. I don't know why I have negative feelings at all. It doesn't make much sense, as I support them rising up to strike and forming unions. I feel brainwashed more than anything. Shills from Big Brother has entered the conversations. Can we add to this list the people who say I had a bad union experience, therefore all unions are shit? Depends on the post. I mean, like a few recent ones, people were all fired up over things that were stupid, non-mandatory shit you could just ignore. As offensive as someone could take that, it's still not something you need to participate in or risk being fired written up. That's when it's an eyebrow raise, in it. He gets us bots trying to help. Well, I am a pro-solidarity, anti-corporate person who believes in the integrity of work. Sometimes people post whiny complaints about having to do anything at all, and I think it really misrepresents what the focus of this sub is. Doing work that is fairly paid, that you take pride in, has the potential to be one of the best parts of life. It depends on what the post is. If a boss is treating someone like shit, most members have their back. If they come in and say my boss says I can't be on my cell phone at my desk because we are 2 months behind on paperwork that I am assigned, well, that's the job. Some people don't want to take any direction at all when they are the problem. To be fair, a bunch of the complaints on here are not worthy of the level of despair in them. I always think that's how it was for me, so why it should be any better for you? Bosses doing roleplay. Maybe because it's fucking sad but true? What's the alternative? Don't work. Say fuck the system and go live unhoused in a public park on government assistance? It is what it is. Unless there's an anarchist commune. Society doesn't leave many options for people who want to live and participate in society these days. Pretty much fucking have to play the game. Hold the job. Make the money. Pay the bills. Buy the food what you can't, or don't grow yourself. It's just how it is. I don't want to work as much as the next asshole, but what choice is there? Call me a bootlicker all you want, but at some stage, you gotta grow up too.